Hello friends, I'm Kristopher, the Midwest Man Mountain, and today I'm going to show you a few of my favorite tips for pruning in the fall. But first I have to get rid of all of these leaves. I'll be blowing the leaves a couple times before snow starts. I like to get rid of the big clumps of leaves so that they don't mat together and form mold and cause some problems around the roots of the plants that I'm trimming. Pruning plants can be a lot of fun. I remember doing this as a kid with my mother all the time. This time of year, right when it gets nice and cold. In fact, up here in Wisconsin, we've already had 2 days where it's dipped down below 32 degrees at night, so we've had our first frost. To me, that means it's time to get rid of a lot of these plants. So, remember these from back in April, one of the top 5 tools to have in the garden? It's time to put them to use. For example, this phlox right here is about 2.5 feet tall. I transplanted it in the spring. They're long since dead, and you can see some of the seeds up here at the top. What we're going to do is cut them down close to the ground, about 3 inches from the bottom, and then tip them upside down, shake out any of the seeds for self-propagation over the wintertime into next spring, and then get rid of them in a tote. Simple as that. Let's go! This plant is also ready to be done. Same practice, cutting it down nice and close near the ground. Now inside this beautiful brown bouquet are seeds. Let's see if you can hear them. I'm going to tip these out upside down in the area where these were, shake them a little bit, and see if next year some more plants come up. I'm sure they will. This plant right here is called Sedum, and it's not ready for pruning yet. Let me show you why. Can you see this beautiful purple? Not too long ago, maybe 3 weeks, the whole plant was purple like this. It's past its prime. This is much more of a winter plant up here in Wisconsin. You can see this purple then transitions almost to green. There's some purple left on here, but all of these green tips are going to turn brown, and on the inside there are seeds. And in another 4 weeks or 5 weeks, those brown tips will open up slightly, and I can cut them off, shake the seeds out over the sedum, and next year it will grow and grow and grow until I have sedum covering this entire area. That's the beauty of perennials. These daisies on my right are nowhere near ready to be cut down. How do I know? Well, it's pretty obvious. The flowers are still nice and white and the leaves are green. They're verdant, there's lots of energy in there, and they'll keep going for another couple of months. Whereas the cone flowers on my other side, those are ready to be taken care of. How do I know? The flowers are gone, the heads are brown, and so are the stems. In fact, I could cut them down now to about 5-6 inches, or I could go down to the base of the stem and they'd probably snap right off. So, let's get rid of them. In general, I do most of my pruning in the fall. That being said, there's always an exception to the rule, and in my case, behind me is one of those exceptions. Raspberries. I love raspberries a lot, and up here in Zone 5A, I tend to prune them in the early spring, which is about April time. Specific pruning instructions for raspberries vary depending on the species. Sometimes you'll prune them in the summer, sometimes you'll prune them in the springtime, sometimes they'll bear fruit the first year, sometimes they'll bear fruit the second year. Sometimes you'll want to cut them down as low as you can, and sometimes you just find the brown branches and trim them off. They snap off really easily. There's a lot that can go into pruning in the fall, but in my case I think that if it's brown, it's probably ready to be chopped down. Of course, you can dive deeper into specifics based off of your cold hardiness zone or your state or region in the world. I like to use a particular book, the Cool Springs Press Month by Month Gardening. This details what I should be planting, what I should be trimming, what I should be growing month by month in the area where I live. We'll put a link in the description below. You can check it out and find one for your zone from there. Before you check that out, be sure to subscribe to Home and Garden for Mere Mortals and then check out the other contributors, and then head on over to my page, Midwest Man Mountain Home and Garden DIY. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye! Well, it's the end of the gardening season here in Wisconsin, but there's still some work to be done. Today I'm going to show you a few easy tips for saving some of your favorite seeds in the garden for next year.